This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So I'm filming this really heavily thinking about the new moon in Leo, and I know we're not there yet, but I'm not sure if any of you have seen any posts about it or read anything about it or just felt the intensity in the air, which I'm sure probably most of you have. There's so many things that have been coming into our energy lately. You know, Chiron, meaning wounds coming to the surface, tension, a bit of anger, wanting to pop off, crying, purging, you know, like maybe an upset stomach or just generally feeling blah. I mean, I had a headache for I don't know how many days last week, but an air pressure type headache, you know, and I think that we're hoping that this coming week will feel better. But the new moon in Leo that's coming is about intentions. And I want you to think about what your intentions are for the next little while. I want you to see if there's something that maybe needs to be revisited, or maybe something that you've pushed away to the side that may need to come back to the surface to be addressed. So what's something that you were thinking of doing that, you know, you stopped doing because life got in the way? There's a thought. Now, on top of that, we are in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, so you might already be experiencing the miscommunications, the tech glitches, the miscommunications, people popping up from your past, whatever it may be. I've definitely seen a lot of that pop up. So it's all in how we respond that matters. Now, this card fell right out, and let's take this as one of the overall themes for this week, and it's the goat energy. And I find this interesting because it says act from your innate wisdom. Well, yes, we're implementing knowledge, right? That's really important right now. But when I think of goats, I think of Capricorn energy, right? And what do goats do? They climb mountains. They get over the obstacles. They figure things out. They do the work. So right now, this is basically saying, okay, if you have an obstacle in your way and you've been putting it off, you can't do that anymore. Got to make some moves. And let's see what else is going on here. The well maidens, kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. Kindness goes a long way. Respect goes a long way. Compassion goes a long way. You know, the word respect, I think what I want to say about that, or where I've seen that maybe pop up, is the respect of people's opinions or the way in which they live their life, allowing people to do whatever they need to do for themselves the same way you would do for you. You know, we may not always agree with people, but we can agree to disagree. And respect of one's energy is important. Now, you know, I always say trust the process. Yes. But I want to add in respect the process. Respect someone's process along the way, because it really does matter. It really is important. We can't try to control things. We can't try to force anything. But let's get another message here about this topic. And we have treasures in the deep and dark, shadow work, healing old wounds. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like there's an energy where there's this, and forgive me because this is kind of like a random analogy that came up earlier in the week. How many of you feel like you're a tired toddler that feels overwhelmed and maybe stomping your feet and needs a nap or needs a break or has hit the capacity limit? You know what I mean? And it almost feels like some people are not seeing the bigger picture. They're just in a moment of, I don't have the capacity. Wounds are coming to the surface. They're not feeling so great. And maybe overreacting or not reacting appropriately to the scenario. I would remind people to always look at the bigger picture. Think objectively versus subjectively. You know, something that came up actually, side note, Kelly side note here, that came up quite a few times in my sessions this past week was the idea of taking things personally. And it's amazing how many times people take things personally when the majority of the time it's not about them. So for example, if you're in a relationship with somebody that can't give or doesn't have the capacity and they run to another person, another situation, more than likely, it has nothing to do with you not being good enough or you not being worthy enough of this. It's because that person probably doesn't feel good enough for you or worthy enough for your overgiving. And that's all they feel good enough for, which is why they run to somebody else, you know? And maybe we do that too. I mean, like, obviously we're human. We run to things that we feel good enough for, even if it's not the most ideal situation. But what I'm saying here is that a lot of people lately are taking things so personally, you know, that maybe they have a difference of opinion, or maybe that something's not going the way in which they want it to. And remember, the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you need, right? Because want comes from a place of lack, you know, and that's why we have to be mindful in regards to manifestation. We don't want to say, I want this, I want this, I want this, because if you consistently want something, it means you don't have it. You have to believe that you have it, and that is confidence. Confidence in yourself, in your knowing, and allowing yourself to just be, you know, be in the present moment and to learn. I think the whole thing here is about trusting the process, respecting the process, and learning as we're going. We're going to shift, we're going to grow. We're going to encounter situations that challenge our status quo or challenge what we think to be true. And it's okay. It's okay sometimes to make a mistake or to be wrong, but the importance here is self-awareness, right? And to understand that we're going to have good days, we're going to have bad days, but that taking things personally is not going to better any kind of situation. We do have to look at the bigger picture. So I digress. I'm going to put these cards off to the side. We'll see if they pop up later on, but let's take a look at the energies for the week. Now, the deck that I'm going to use first, ooh, there we go. The Fates. You know what? I meant to use this deck. I'm going to put this back into the deck, but it just like dropped if you heard it. The Fates. Well, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, right? Interesting. Okay. It was like a confirmation when I grabbed this deck, because this wasn't the deck I originally had in mind, but again, we roll with the energies. So let's take a look at Monday. What do we need to know? And we have here mending, healing, going through the process of change. Okay, on Tuesday, we have chaos and conflict. Well, anytime that we want to make moves or mend things, people come in and test us, or situations come in and test us. There may be some chaos and conflict. People may have their backs up, you know. I've asked some people recently, like, do they feel like they have their back against the wall? So if you're feeling that kind of energy, that self-preservation or pushing away because of some wounds, you're not alone. A lot of people have had that this week or last week, but I would say it's also, again, self-awareness that's super important, to recognize when we're in these moments, when we're self-sabotaging, when we're pushing people away, when we're acting, you know, like a child at times, you know, overstimulated. And let's see what else here. Wednesday, we have the tribe, soul tribe, family, feeling comfortable. Community might be very important to you on Wednesday. Let's take a look at Thursday, and we have building blocks. There's growth. You're building on previous experiences. That's why I'm saying, you know, I think one of the things that always comes up for me is the fact that we need to have a growth mindset. You know, that's the teacher in me. We have to recognize that we build on past experiences and learning. If we stay stuck, if we stay stubborn about our thoughts and our feelings, then what changes? You know, something I said to somebody recently is, it's my math exam. It's not anyone else's math exam, it's my math exam. And where that comes from is me talking about us verifying our work. We can think we have all the answers, and that's okay to believe in an answer. but there is also an element of checking the work. And you can't go to a math teacher and say, this is the answer, without showing the process of how you got to that answer. There's process work, there's marks, there's evaluation that comes in through checking your work. And it's okay to take the time to verify whether you're right, whether you're wrong, whether you've made a misstep or a little error in judgment. There's no worry about that. We all make mistakes. We're all human. We all believe something to be true in the moment. We've got to verify our work and build on that. That's why we call it the building blocks of learning, right? I don't know why we're so afraid to be questioned or to make a mistake or to reevaluate something. And as a side note, let's talk about that Mercury retrograde for a moment. I mean, we're in that pre-shadow, that this is a time of reevaluation. Maybe you thought something to be true, but maybe it wasn't, and that's okay. You're going to go back and you're going to verify the steps that you've taken. You know, we would never tell a child not to do that. We would always tell a child to try again, find that answer, get through that puzzle, you know, or even video games for that matter. I recall a story from many years ago, and it had to do with a video game. And this child had said to me, well, this is too tough. How do I solve this level? And I remember being like, you just keep trying. You know, I spent hours as a child trying to save the princess, you know, Super Mario Brothers. I mean, that ages me, but the idea of like, I've got to basically problem solve and figure it out and spend the time and effort. And sometimes I had to start at the beginning, and sometimes I had to learn from this, that, or whatever. Again, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on this topic, but we are in the process of building something. In order to build it, you've got to verify yourself along the way, and that's okay. Okay, let's get into Friday. And we have here peace. Look, building something can help you find peace. Because if you don't feel at peace, then you have to reevaluate or you have to figure it out. And on Saturday, we have here, oops, as I'm dropping the card, is here and now, being in the present moment. Now, kind of funny because 23 and 32, right? They're like a mirror of each other. And, you know, you can be in the old, you can be in the new. Which one? You know, what brings you peace? You know, what do you need right here, right now to feel good? Let's see what's going on Sunday. Yang energy. It's interesting. This is masculine energy to push forward. A spark of purpose. What are you passionate about? What did you stop doing because life got in the way? And look at the sneak peek at the following week. You got to chop some wood. You got work to do. And, you know, you even have to sweep away the old stuff that no longer serves you. Okay, so that being said, let's grab some tarot cards and see what we need to know. Now, I'm going to use these gold foiled Rider-Waite cards because I want sunshine. I want positivity, right? Let's see that mending card. What do we need to know? See, Eight of Pentacles, there's work to do. Listen, healing takes time and work. And if any of you are feeling triggered right now throughout this process, I understand and I feel you. It's not easy. I think there's a lot of frustration in the air in regards to healing right now. Some people are maybe fighting the shift or fighting their healing even though they want it so badly, you know, and maybe they're triggered by the things that they're being told or the things that they need to do, or they feel like they're sort of in the spotlight or on center stage. But ultimately, we do the best we can. We take it step by step and day by day, and nobody has to change overnight. Understand that it takes time. And I think people are frustrated wanting the instant gratification, or I'm coming back to the analogy of the toddler. You know, a toddler will stomp their feet and cry and want it now. And that doesn't always work. You know, it just doesn't. So let's see what this chaos and conflict is about on Tuesday. And we have here the Queen of Swords. Well, Tuesday's going to be a day of boundaries. You're going to have to tell somebody no. You're going to have to be like, sorry, doesn't work for me. Maintain your boundaries. And that could very well be with your tribe even the people closest to you that you love dearly. Boundaries are necessary. You know, this is the thing about respect. And again, I'm gonna go back for a moment here. And that is, we have to respect people's opinions, way of life, even the people we love and are closest to and, you know, deal with daily. It's equal giving and receiving in balance, and not infringing when somebody says no, or, you know, trying to force something on someone else. When we try to force things on people, they run the other direction. And I'm sure that's the case for you too, when you feel like your boundaries are being infringed. So let's see this tribe card. Judgment. It's a wake-up call. I think a lot of you are evaluating who are your tribe, who are your people, friends, family, coworkers, whoever. You're really thinking very clearly about, like, what do I have around me? What am I willing to accept and not willing to accept? And let's see, building blocks. You have a decision. Are you in the old or are you in the new? Do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? Are you going to stay at this number of blocks, or are you going to continue to grow and build on what you have, what you know, what you've done? The peace card here, see, 9 of Cups, ask and you shall receive. If you want peace, let it in. It is that simple. Here and now, Queen of Wands. Look at here and now, confident. I've been seeing sunflowers a lot lately as a symbol. There's a little black cat. You know, the Queen of Wands doesn't care what anybody thinks of her black cat. You know, it's up to her to live her life. It's up to you. Now, the Yang energy is about forward motion. And there you go. Trust the process. Lives in my head rent free. Trust the process. That's all you can do. And chopping wood, well, this might be about collaboration. Maybe if somebody wants to help you with that, why not? You know, getting the help you need in order to go to the next level, whatever that means to you. So that being said, let's get some oracle cards to clarify. And let's go to that 8 of Pentacles. That work, heart and home, matters of the home, mending, security, boundaries, peace again. What is your heart's desire? The boundaries card, person of earth. You might be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn dealing with some, I don't know. But I would just say this is about being more grounded and secure. Being secure enough to make the boundary and not worrying what everybody else says. Judgment, the balloons. Allow yourself to be high-vibed and free and having fun in your life, you know? And by the way, back to that person of earth card, or that grounding, I was just thinking to myself, chaos and conflict, what can ground you? Maybe it's getting out in nature, a salt bath, just diffusing the situation, walking away from the situation, having some fun. Now, the building energy, the 2 of Swords, within a few days. Okay, the energy is building. You've got to make a decision. And I think you feel it. That 9 of Cups, yeah, you've got to walk away from things that no longer serve you. The Dear John is about an ending to something, saying goodbye to something. You know, you want peace? Say goodbye to the things that are getting in the way of your peace. Queen of Wands, confidence. You know, interesting. It's like saying you feel, what's the word? You feel like you're finishing first. You have to believe in yourself, and you've got to allow things to end, the conclusions to happen, so you can be in the new. So let's see. Knight of Pentacles, trust the process. Shooting Star, wish is granted. Make a wish right now. Let's take another card. What's this wish about? The summertime. Maybe it means something to you. 3 to 6 months. I said this recently, actually, and I'm going to repeat it. I find it really interesting that we're almost in August. Like, wow, we don't have much time left in the year. Like, now's the time to tie up the loose ends, to address some things that we haven't. We have to think about how we want this year to end, and we can't avoid it. So the next 3 to 6 months, I think you're thinking about something. You're wishing for something in the next while to change. And that collaboration, Let's see. You got to roll the dice. Now's the time. No risk, no reward. I've been seeing the dice card a lot, actually, in some mini readings that I've been doing. Okay, so let's take some cards here for some last bit of guidance for the week. Earth Rat, change your mindset. Exactly. Exactly. Return to your center. Be more grounded. Welcome the Muse. Interesting. Rabbits are all about brand new beginnings. What is it that inspires you? What are your intentions? What would you like to accomplish? What is something that maybe stopped you from getting in the way of something new? Maybe that's something you want to get back to or to look at again. I really hope this resonates with you. As always, thank you. I appreciate your likes, your comments, and please don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. Take care, everybody, and I wish you an amazing week.